Council will come to order. All rise and salute the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing for a moment of silence in honor of our veterans, service members, and those who have given the ultimate sacrifice.
Say that the president of the Club 24, Alan Campbell, had passed away the last few days, the last 48 hours. He was actually my sponsor for recovery, and I'll tell you, what a great guy. He's really did a lot of good work over at Club 24. They were on the brink of losing the building before he took over, and he just done a terrific job. His son and my son hang around together. They've been, baseball buddies since kindergarten. So it was a sudden thing. It was very tragic. And my heart just goes out to his family, and I just wanted to mention it tonight. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you. A moment of silence, please. The clerk will call the roll.
Thanks.
Councilor Cologne Hayes.
They got it. I'm going to have to take it from them.
Oh, okay, so her camera's on. I need her to open her mic and say here.
Councilor Cologne Hayes, can you try to unmute yourself? I see a thumbs up.
Okay, well, we see that she's...
Okay, how's that?
That's
Perfect.
better, thank you.
Here, say here.
Here.
Councilor Condon. Here. Councilor Crowe. Here. Councilor Linehan. Here. Councilor McDonald.
Here.
Councilor Seega. Here. Councilor Simonelli.
Yep.
Councilor Spatafor is not with us tonight. Councilor Taylor. Yes. Councilor Winslow. Here. Council President O'Malley.
Here.
So we have 10 people in attendance, 2 by video, so all of our votes tonight will be done by roll call.
We're going to go into public comment. Public comment is allowed under council rules. Each speaker is limited to the subject matter relevant to this evening's agenda and must keep their comments to 2 minutes or less. Clerk, do we have anyone signed up for public comment?
No, sir.
I see no one in attendance. Do we get anything in writing?
No, sir.
Thank you. So we have one thing on the agenda tonight. We have an enrolled paper, paper 1325. I'll let the clerk read the paper.
Be it ordained by the Malden City Council that the Code of the City of Malden, Title 12, Zoning, is hereby amended to establish requirements and regulations for accessory dwelling units, including definitions, and the establishment of site plan review committee for accessory dwelling units by amending chapters section 12.030, 16.010, 20.010, 32.060, and by adding new subsections 12.28010K, 32030D, and that's it. The other one was deleted.
Thank you. Councilor Linehan.
I wanted to make a motion to ordain.
Is there a second?
I have my light on too. Can we do that before we do that?
Absolutely. So there's a motion to ordain, seconded by Councilor Winslow. I'm going to go on debate for that motion. Councilor Seega.
Thank you so much, Council President. I'm not looking to make this meeting longer than it has to be, and I've been going back and forth with this topic in the meeting in my head for the last just about 24 hours now. And I'm asking that for the purposes of future things down the line, not to say anybody that's actually on here, but I don't think that the vote last night was proper, and I would hate to see somebody in the future challenge the vote. So I'm hoping to make a motion to rescind the enrollment from last evening and re-vote on that amendment tonight. And then the bad thing about it, ladies and gentlemen, is we're going to have to enroll tonight and ordain tomorrow at the meeting that we have scheduled, unfortunately. But I would hate for a developer to challenge what took place here last night, because when I went home, I checked out Robert's rules. I don't think allowing someone to change their vote last night was the proper way to have handled it. Robert's rules suggests that you are allowed to change a vote, but it's before it gets announced. It was done after two people announced it. It doesn't specify which person announces the vote, but I went back and looked at the video today, and not only did the clerk announce it, you also announced it before Councilor Cologne Hayes changed her vote. So, and she really should have made a motion to reconsider her vote immediately, which I said at the time that she should reconsider. It wasn't done properly. We should have voted on her motion to reconsider. I don't think anybody up here at that time would have. It was a little chaotic, to say the least. So just to make sure that, you know, what if a year from now somebody challenges that vote last night and it stands and her yes vote was to amend it with a variance? I'm just not sure how it would be handled. Like, last night we enrolled an ordinance for Steve's amendment, not Councilor Crow's amendment, and if we ordain that amendment tonight, but it gets challenged a year from now and Councilor Cologne Hayes' vote for a yes is upheld, what happens? Do we not have anything in place? Is it go to the state? So as much as I would not want to see you all tomorrow, I think we should, just for good housekeeping. We just did this a couple of months ago, not to throw you under the bus, but when you left to go to the restroom, we had to kind of ratify the vote just to make sure that it was proper. And I think that with this particular vote, we have to do the same. So I would like to make a motion to rescind the enrollment and re-vote on an amendment, and then hopefully we can enroll. I'm not.
Second.
Clarification?
Sure.
Sorry, may I ask for clarification? Are you asking to rescind the enrolling vote, or are you asking to rescind the amendment vote?
So
Because I think you said two different things.
So we enrolled, I spoke to the city solicitor, we enrolled the ordinance last night, so right now, I can reconsider that vote, or I can rescind the vote. And because it's enrolled and not ordained, I can rescind the vote. So I'm looking to rescind the enrollment. We can't change an enrolled paper. So we can make an amendment after we make a motion to rescind the enrollment.
So you want to rescind the enrollment and then go back and redo the.
Ratify the vote.
If I could just clarify in terms, so I'm hearing what Councilor Sika is looking to do. So Councilor Sika is looking to unenroll or rescind the enrollment. It was seconded by Councilor Simonelli. There is an existing motion on the floor, which is to ordain, which has been made by Councilor Linehan, which has been seconded by Councilor Winslow. That takes precedence. That vote will be coming up first. Everyone needs to understand the importance of that vote. Because this is a zoning amendment, if we vote to ordain it and that fails, there are repercussions on whether or not we can enact zoning. On the totality of everything.
Yeah, for 2 years. Can't bring it up.
So I will be taking up the ordaining vote, and I do hope that that passes. I would then entertain not a motion to rescind, but I would entertain a motion to ratify the vote yesterday.
I'm okay with that,
For
Counselor.
clarity's purposes.
I don't care how we do it. I just don't want a year from now
I understand.
for us to be in a legal battle
I understand.
with something or someone, and they pull the tapes and the minutes from last night's meeting.
I completely
And then us be caught like a deer in the headlights, basically.
And
So,
I hear what you're saying. I appreciate you bring this up. I do want to apologize to the community. One, I want to apologize for how late we started. That was not intentional. We were really up to the hour here. We have this accessory dwelling unit, granny flat, in-law apartment zoning that's coming into effect on Monday. We were in the ordinance committee. It was going far longer in order to get consensus. I apologize for that. That's my fault. I also want to apologize to the council and to Councilor Cologne Hayes for how I announced the amendment that Councilor Crowe was suggesting. I should have been clearer in terms of what a yes vote would have done functionally and what a no vote would have done. It was a very long night. We were getting tired. We were already an hour and a half late. So I do want to take on that there, and I promise to make sure this never happens again, Councilor Sika, to your point. So I hope you all accept my apology, trying my best. Is there any other discussion on the motion to ordain? Seeing and hearing none, on the motion to ordain, the clerk will call the roll.
Councilor Cologne Hayes.
Yes. Yes.
She said yes? Thank you. Councilor Condon? Yes. Councilor Crowe? Yes. Yes. Councilor Linehan? Yes. Yes. Councilor McDonald?
Yes.
Yes. Councilor Sika?
Yes.
Yes. Councilor Simonelli? Yes. Yes. Councilor Taylor? Yes. Yes. Councilor Winslow?
Yes.
Yes. Councilor President O'Malley?
Yes.
Thank you.
On the motion by Councilor Sika, seconded by Councilor Crowe, to ratify the enrollment from yesterday's meeting.
The amendment. It would be the amendment. Ratify the amendment, the vote on the amendment.
I think I'll be honest with you, I think that the amendment and enrollment.
As long as you blanket vote, I'm fine with that.
On-
Just to make sure,
He said ratify, you said rescind.
no, we're not
No,
gonna
it's
rescind.
ratified.
We basically just
That might be on there.
ordained it, but just for housekeeping purposes, we're gonna ratify the vote so it stands.
Because we all want the zoning, so just to clarify, on
So let me ask you this, though. What if it changes?
the vote, it's, I don't think it has any, to be honest with you, I don't
Not
think,
that it matters,
I don't,
it's irrelevant.
if I could, if I,
It's not irrelevant.
you know-
It's taking another vote, it's not irrelevant.
so well, that's what we kind of open up to, but here's the thing. So there was a motion to amend that Councilor Cologne Hayes changed her vote. There was from yes to no to reflect how she had intended to. I did not explain the vote clearly. I asked if anyone would like to doubt the ruling of the chair. No one did that. It was at that moment, if someone had a Robert's Rules procedural thing, that concern could have been raised. A amendment is not a final action and does not affect the final action of that paper. We then enrolled it as amended. We were in agreement that that's how I ruled. We were all clear. I don't think the enrollment or the amendment is really in question, but if we want to ratify it, we can do that now, and that's the motion that I think we agreed upon. So on the motion to ratify both the amendment and the enrollment from yesterday, made by Councilor Sika, seconded by Councilor Crowe, the clerk will call the roll.
Really quick.
Okay, Councilor Sika.
So, really quickly, Councilor O'Malley, I appreciate your apology. I've been on the phone pretty much for the entire day trying to figure this all out, and I don't agree, even though no one challenged the chair last evening, the way that we changed the vote was improper, okay? So, Councilor Cologne Hayes should have raised a point of order. She should have sought recognition from you. She should have explained the reason she was changing it. If she wanted to change her vote, she should have made a motion to reconsider. The council up here should have voted for that reconsideration. Regardless whether you deemed it okay for her to change it or not, it wasn't the proper way.
Whether or not that is true, which it very well may be true, it doesn't change the fact that.
No, I just want to be clear here, like, I didn't realize you announced the vote until today when I went back and looked at the video. I thought only Carol Ann did. And I was under the impression that it was when the council president announced that it passed. So I didn't think we were out of order last night until I went back, because you have to admit, it was a little chaotic up here.
Agreed, which is
You know,
why,
so-
which is why I do believe that it is fair to give.
And that's fine. I just,
the benefit of the
whatever,
doubt to Counselor
if you
Colonnese.
think ratifying is a way to make sure that no one can challenge what we did last evening, I'm fine with it. And then, you know, the ordained, it's fine. I'm not looking to change the outcome of the vote last night. I just don't want us to have any legal issues moving forward with anything that could potentially arise. You never know.
I understand
A
that.
developer could come in and not like the way we are doing the ordinance, and we can defer back to state if they deem that that was not how we should have handled things last night, which on paper looks like it's not how we should have handled things.
I understand.
And that's, I've been up here 13 years. I've never seen that happen before. Nobody's ever changed a vote. So I think I can speak for a lot of people when they say it's not something we deal with on a regular basis. So it seemed like we were all a little uncertain, and it wasn't until I went home and pulled out the book and read into it that I'm like, oh, okay, well, this makes sense. That's how it should have been done. You know, it was a lot. I don't even think at one point the microphones were on. It was kind of just a little talk but amongst a few, and at that point, it was like, whatever. So I just, yeah, as long as, I'm okay with it, as
So
long as,
we have a motion to move
We
the
leave it. You
previous
still wanna talk?
question. I believe, Counselor, I'll go to Counselor Crowe, and then we're going to move the question.
So I just wanted to really understand, if we ratify the vote, so what does that do to the paper we just ordained? Nothing?
no, it just makes the vote from last night.
The ratification, I do not believe has any legal effect. I think that it is showing the intent of the council. If there is ever a doubt on, I believe that the enrollment is legally effective. We're talking about an amendment. We then took final action on the amended paper. We were all aware of what that amended paper was, and we enrolled it. If there was a procedural issue on the amendment, that would not impact the enrollment. We've just ordained it. That's the final action. Doing a ratification only provides additional support for what I just said.
Unless the vote changes.
Yeah, but I say that we take that chance. I mean, if we don't want to ratify, I think we're fine.
Well, then I do think that actually that we should not have ordained first before we kind of went through the process, because it seems to be almost a moot point, and taking up something else that's a final action before anything else could happen, just said, it feels like a pat on the head going, yep, nice for saying that, Councilor Sika, but it doesn't mean a hill of beans.
Because what was expressed to me by Councilor Sika is that the ratifying is not to change the vote, but to clarify that what
There
we
are other people here. One council is not here, and there's other people here, so the vote could change.
Understood. I'm going to take up the vote now to ratify. The clerk will call the roll to ratify the amendment and enrollment. You moved the question. That's what you were asking. Thank you.
Just for your point last night, can you sort of explain what a yes or a no?
I like that. Just to clarify, a yes vote to ratify the amendment and enrollment from last night would be adding additional support that the council took action to amend the paper and enroll it yesterday. A no vote would be that you do not want to ratify that decision.
I just think you should be clear that we're ratifying the vote to eliminate the variance procedure, because
Yeah, and just to be clear, that the vote that we're ratifying, the amendment is to eliminate the variance, to eliminate the variance provision. But I do want to be clear that it's my position that even if this ratification vote fails, this paper has already been enrolled and ordained in his law. Yes, you have 24.
Challenged in a year if you don't ratify it.
But I'm going to take this vote now. So a yes vote would ratify the paper. A no vote would not ratify the paper, but there would be no functional difference. The clerk will call the roll.
I'm sorry, really quick.
I
She seems confused.
think what said is, you know, the ratification was to eliminate the variance, but the amendment was to re-include it. So we're ratifying that we
Okay.
wanted out, or ratifying that we wanted it?
We're
We're ratifying. the
We're
vote as a
ratifying the
whole, I
vote that
guess.
occurred yesterday to enroll.
And it failed, 4 to 5.
No, the amendment failed, not the enrollment.
I think I'm gonna rule this out of order. I don't think this is a necessary thing to take. I don't think this step is necessary, but I'm just gonna recognize Counselor Winslow, and then,
I just have to be, I think we have to be clear about what we're ratifying, because I think the dispute became because, I think as Counselor Crowe pointed out, she had made there was an amendment to put back in the variance per thing.
Yeah,
And then that was seconded. There was a vote taken on that. That Counselor Colin Hayes voted one way and then immediately asked to have a vote choice. So that's, we should ratify that you're ruling that in the end that Counselor Crow's amendment failed. That should be clearly what we're voting on. So if we vote yes on this ratification, we're agreeing that the amendment failed. I think we should be clear, that's what we're.
yeah,
yes,
I am not taking this up.
Okay.
I don't think this is necessary. It only is gonna add confusion to this process. We enrolled it and we have ordained it. This is now law.
So you're not gonna take my motion after I just voted for yours?
No,
I will make a motion to reconsider
It's on the
that
floor.
vote right now.
Well, that is the vote that's on the floor. The vote that is on the floor is to ratify the votes that we took yesterday for the amendment.
I think legally
As
that's
I
the
called
right
it,
thing to do,
as
to
I
make
called
sure
it,
no one challenges
As
Councilor
I called,
Hayes'
so
date.
I just want to be clear, so I'm not taking any more debate on this. This is getting overly complicated. The vote right now, a yes vote would be to ratify my call yesterday on the amendment and the enrollment. A no vote would not do that.
Yes,
The clerk will call the roll.
motion to ratify.
No, I need exact language on what we're ratifying.
We're
Hi, I'm not sorry if you can hear us. We can't hear anything you're saying right now.
Sorry, my apologies. We are just getting the language correct, and I will read what a yes vote does and what a no vote does. A yes vote will,
From what I'm understanding, you're saying that a yes vote, from what I'm understanding, so this is a vote to ratify the ruling from January 28th, Council President O'Malley's ruling on the amendment and the enrollment of paper 1325. As I'm hearing this, what I'm understanding is a yes vote will let the amendment, Councilor Crow's amendment from yesterday, stand as a failed amendment.
correct,
A no vote,
and enroll. This is also on the enrollment. It's the
the
amendment
enrollment
and
of
the
Steve's
enrollment.
though, not the enrollment of.
No, the enrollment of the entire paper.
Exactly.
So again, a yes vote will ratify my ruling on Counselor Crow's motion related to variances and will ratify the enrollment that was taken yesterday.
I think that because,
The clerk will, please call the roll.
can you tell me what a no vote will mean?
A no vote would mean you're not ratifying it. It would have no legal effect, but we're trying to be clear here to Counselor Sika's point. It would just be like, you do not want to ratify that decision. and
And you
enrollment.
don't think that this should be two different votes because the paper yesterday was voted on two different votes?
I do not think that the amendment needs to be ratified at all. It's just the enrollment. But I'm willing to take it up the way it's been presented.
Okay, so since we couldn't hear anything,
Yep.
I want to make sure I know what we're voting for. For a while, we couldn't hear anything you all were saying.
So
So
yes, what are
I
you?
think I heard what you just said, and I'm going to keep it to what you originally said, which a yes would ratify the vote. That's what I'm going to vote, but I want to make sure,
Yes,
God knows I don't want to do this
a
twice.
yes vote would ratify my ruling on the amendment that Counselor Crowe made, which is that it failed. And it would also ratify the enrollment. Counselor McDonald, you have your hand raised. Would you like to speak? And then,
Yes, I would. My question had been whether the ratification was of your ruling specifically, or whether it was simply that we acknowledge the enrolled paper did not include Councilor Crow's amendment. I'm not sure whether the ruling itself is valid. It's important that the vote reflect the will of the council. So my question was, is the vote on ratification simply just to clarify that we all thought we were voting on the same thing when we enrolled it, or is it specifically about your ruling? That was my point of order or question.
yeah, it's on my ruling about the amendment, because, and then it's the enrollment as a whole. Are we ready to vote? The clerk will call the roll.
Counselor Cologne Hayes?
Yes,
Yes. Counselor Condon? No. No. Counselor Crowe? Yes. Yes. Counselor Linehan? Yes. Yes. Counselor McDonald?
Yes.
Yes. Counselor Seega? Yes. Yes. Counselor Simonelli? Yes. Yes. Counselor Taylor? Yes. Yes. Counselor Winslow?
Yes.
Yes. Council President O'Malley?
Yes,
Yes, that is 9-1.
the ratification passes 9-1. Is there a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
On Counselor Seega's motion to adjourn, seconded by Counselor Simonelli, the clerk will call the roll.
Counselor Cologne Hayes?
yes.
Counselor Condon? Counselor Crowe? Yes. Counselor Linehan? Yes. Counselor McDonald?
Yes.
Counselor Seega? Yes. Counselor Simonelli? Yes. Counselor Taylor? Yes. Counselor Winslow? Yes. Council President O'Malley?
Yes, we are adjourned.
Is the meeting tomorrow night canceled?
Not until 5 minutes before.
So I would, can I just state this real quick? It's 7:38 right now.
You have until 7:38 tomorrow to reconsider.
Thank
So
you.
we will be sitting here until 7:38. And if no one reconsiders, I'll cancel the meeting. If someone does reconsider, then we'll have it and hopefully vote it down.
So we gotta come here tomorrow
You don't have to come here.
until 7:38?
We have to be here, but you don't have to be here. You can just,